all my analytics classes for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here! Ah!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What y'all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler, he's Phil Dawson, he's Rob Watson, no Nick Padone today. He's busy. No, that's Jack O'Rourke. Jack, what's up, dude? I wonder why you're wearing a Phil Dawson jersey this morning. It couldn't be because of one Andre Szmyt, now could it?
Ooh. You know, if you follow at Big Play Cleveland on Twitter, on TikTok, or really any app, you're well aware of my thoughts on the Cleveland Browns kicking situation, and I'm still upset that Phil Dawson has not been back since 2014, and my point still stands today, Ryan, based off Szmyt going wrong yesterday.
Szmyt happens, man. That's what they're saying in the streets in Cleveland. Szmyt happens. Szmyt out of luck for the Cleveland Browns. Guys, I want to start with an emotional check because we can get into the X's and the O's, the Jimmies and the Joes and all that, but an emotional gut check that was the Cleveland Browns yesterday starting the season 0-1.
Yeah, let's just talk some anger. A
lot of people expected the Browns to start 0-1 due to expectations this season, and I, for one, thought the Browns had a chance, and well, of course they had a chance. In fact, they should have won the game. There's no debate about that, but a gut check, the fact that you lose in the fashion you do, a missed extra point, a missed chip shot field goal by one Andre Szmyt, it sucks because we've seen the Browns lose in some crazy fashions, guys. The Jets game I go back to a couple years ago, just the complete blown fourth quarter leads and all the good stuff we remember. This was a new one.
Guys, I'm going to say this might not be the popular opinion to make in Cleveland today. I'm kind of happy with the Browns overall. Like, I came in thinking they were going to get blown out yesterday. Like, I wasn't as high on getting that week 1 win against Cincy as Ryan, you were, and Nick was. I think, Rob, you kind of see the Browns somewhat similarly to me. I was overall really happy, man. I mean, Dylan Sampson looked awesome. Harold Fanning was awesome. Like, there were some pieces out of the young guys who were great. Schlesinger was solid on defense. Like, there were building blocks, to look forward to. On a football team where the quarterback who's going to lead you to the playoffs is not on the roster, all you can really do is look around the building blocks, and there were some good ones from yesterday. Besides
Rob,
kicking.
Let's check in with you,
dude. That's all good, but I don't want to fucking hear that. All right, I want to win football games, guys. I don't care that the defensive tackle that we traded away looks solid, or that we passed up on Travis Hunter for, and that our receivers can't catch any passes when we need them to. I don't care that Carson Schlesinger had 8 tackles and we scored 16 points. I don't care that Cedric Tillman, sure, looked solid, had a solid game. Dylan Sampson had almost 100 combined yards, but I don't care because we lost the game. And it's sad. It makes me upset because I'm a season ticket holder. I've been going to games for 18 years. It's been a really long time, so as long as I can remember. In the fact that I saw no traffic going into the game, and I was like, no one's about to be up here. Nobody must care. But when you step into the stadium, it's the same electricity. Everyone cares so much. Everyone's so into it. And they're always going to give you just enough to get the crowd into it that we're in there until the 2 minutes left in the game. It's like, shit, we might win, but we never do. And that's the thing on the culture. That's on the coaches. That's on the regime. That's on the GM. That's on the owner. That's on everybody, that every time we're always going to find a way to lose. And I don't care who looked good. I don't care we're building blocks because we've been here before. I remember when we had Baker and the new guys, when Nick Chubb was young, before he tore his knee apart, but when Myles Garrett was young, when Denzel Ward was a rookie. We had building blocks then. What did it get us later? Nothing.
Ryan, if you took 1,000 milligrams of edibles yesterday and decided to suit up and wear number 34 for the Cleveland Browns, I think you're finding just as many, if not more, holes.
Don't say his name. He's redacted.
Redacted.
There's so many avenues to go down to breaking down this Browns game. I mean, let's just start with the positive. And I know it's tough, and a loss like that. And I know, but here's
Rob, who said this team was going to win 4 games all offseason long?
Because that was one.
That they lost the game.
That was the one. That was one of the ones.
That is
we could sit here and brood for 45 minutes, however long we go, and we could break down.
Lament a little bit.
We'll get there because you have to look at the bad stuff to paint a clear picture in order for you to get better. We all know that, but we'll start with some of the positives because there were positives out of that game, and in fact, there were honestly a lot of positives in my opinion. We'll start with Kevin Stefanski. I thought had a great game plan. You needed to limit the time Joe Burrow had the ball, and you did that perfectly. The secondary I give a ton of credit to. By the way, Greg Newsome did an okay job sticking on Jamar Chase there. And then the D-line in the second half, turned up and absolutely should have been the reason you won the game. The 3 straight sacks. Joe Burrow pinned to the ground by Myles Garrett. D-line turned up, was tremendous. I thought Alex Wright played well. We'll talk about Mason Graham. But Dylan Sampson was a bright spot. Maybe not the vertical runner. You need to get him in space, get him the ball. That's what you got Quinshon Judkins for. That's what I'm really excited to see. They'll be the 1-2 punch because, yes, Jerome Ford, I don't want to see touch the football for my team anymore.
Yeah, don't say his name.
And Harold Fannin looked tremendous, by the way. Looked like he's played in the NFL before. A connection with Joe Flacco, and a couple of those where Joe Flacco couldn't get his first read. He scrambled, pointed, and he got into the open space, and Joe Flacco looked pretty good. And we saw that with David Njoku.
Real quick, though.
Yeah, please.
Look, I'm Kevin. I'm looking at you. Never again with a wildcat with my tight end.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Never again.
That was
bro.
crazy.
And I know you're cooking up more. I know there's end arounds, jet sweeps, screens cooked. I'll let this.
Even a PA pass.
I'll let the screens live. I'll let the screens live. If I see wildcat again, I'm calling for your job live on air, bro. Never
Yeah,
again.
that was a wild formation. But the rookies overall, Carson Sweatshirt made a phenomenal tackle read on Chase Brown. And again, Harold Fannin looked tremendous. Dylan Sampson looked tremendous. We hope to get Quinshon back to give us that punch with Dylan Sampson. And then the defense was great. And Joe Flacco played well enough. It's the receivers, guys. And Joe Flacco might not look great in other games, but you can't say he wasn't great in this game because truly he was.
Yeah, I mean, the interceptions don't go down to him at the end of the day. I mean, obviously, I was put in a position where, if it ends up getting turned over, that does happen. But, if it hits off a couple of hands, shit like that happens. It's just so crazy to me, Ryan.
Szmyt like that.
You watch the Steelers every single week, year after year. They find a way to strip out that ball for the fumble, and then they hit the 60-yard field goal to win the game.
Later, by the
way. the way that the Steelers, there's 3 critical bounces in every NFL game, and it seems like the Steelers always find a way to get all 3 to go in their favor, and the Cleveland Browns just never get one of those 3 bounces to go their way. Anytime shit can go wrong, it just seems to happen.
You can create your own luck on a pass. And he's throwing it low. And at first I was mad. I was like, throw the ball more accurately. Because I'm a fan. I'm into it. I'm emotional. But I'm like, he's trying to protect you. You're a sitting duck in the middle of the field.
And I'd rather have that than a turnover that sails over his head.
Yes, because if he's going to throw it low and away, what are we thinking? You're just going to, if you drop it, it hits the
Live
ground.
another day.
What are you guys tipping it up for? Because Jerry, we're paying you way too much money to not make those plays. And the 4th down drop was ridiculous because that was right in your chest. But we're not getting negative yet.
We're not getting negative yet.
Let me chill. But you guys got to make those plays, and we're paying. These are vets. Cedric's not a rookie anymore.
Yeah,
Catch the ball.
There's no excuse.
The Fannin drop bad. I'm gonna excuse it though. 1, because he played good, but 2, he's a rookie, so it was expected. I expected maybe if Sampson would have fumbled, I would have been like, well, dang, he's trying to do a lot. It's the first game, amped up. But these are things that can't happen from these guys. And yes, we get a game where Joe Flacco doesn't make the insanely awful read. That's going to be a pick, and we throw it away and we waste it in another game where we can't put 20 points on the board. A lot of that's the kicker, but we didn't put 20 points on the board again.
I just don't know how you hold a team to, 7 yards of total offense in the second half and lose a football game that wasn't a blowout at halftime.
I thought
it's ridiculous.
I thought we were chalked because that first drive, they were
they
walking
carved us.
down.
Dude, they were just running right at Alex Wright every single play.
That's another thing. Chase Brown completely destroyed the Browns that first drive, and they got on the board early, and the defense adjusted and responded accordingly. I thought that was tremendous.
I think, the Bengals had a lot of questions about right guard entering the season, but I do think a lot of that, too, was when that Patrick went down, the right guard, and didn't come back later. And I think, he was doing a really good job early on, and then once he was out of the game, that's when they stopped running the ball well.
And you credit the Browns. You had no life of a running game when you're going vertical through the AB gaps. It was all Dylan Sampson on the outside. Even he couldn't get it going through the middle, which you can't expect him to. We talked about it. It's a size. That's the reason he went in the 5th round or whatever it was, is because he's a guy that can stretch the numbers, but he's not going to tote the rock 25 times a game. That's what you need Quinshon for. But despite that, because Jerome Ford did look bad again, and
don't say that name. Stop saying the name.
Ceiling is not. There's no ceiling for Jerome Ford, and you need to get Quinshon back.
His ceiling was
and the offensive line, for the most, I thought the offensive line was fine. I'm worried about Jack Conklin, of course, with that injury. But DeJuan Jones, I think it was one sack he allowed to Trey Hendrickson. They were disciplined, I thought. We didn't see false starts.
That's a really big thing.
We didn't see. Yeah, we didn't.
I feel like we didn't have to burn
timeouts.
But it's always something because now we're dropping passes.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
It's always something. It's really, I'll just play and say, because I don't know if anyone said it yet, but we just flat out played better. We were the better team. It looked like a game we should have won by a couple scores.
Joe Burrow had 113 passing yards.
I've never seen 3 straight sacks in a row since, maybe Deshaun Watson gameplay, but still, bro, when that's happening and they're punting every time. In the return, man, while he's safe, he's never going to run one back, I don't think. He does a good job of getting you about 10 every time.
Yeah.
He doesn't drop it. We're getting the ball on the 50-yard line every time. 4 or 5 drives in a row, and we come up with 0 points. It's ridiculous, and it's sad. honestly, and I can't even get mad at Kevin because people are open. He made the most of Dylan Sampson, who we know is not a north and south runner. He manufactures him up to about 100 yards off swing passes, screens, and everything to get him into space. And we just can't capitalize at the end of drives. It's always drops. It's missed extra points. It's missed field goals. And that's just been the tale of the team for as long as I've been watching.
And Rob, obviously it's really hard to go out and fill 35 holes if you have that many in the offseason, you know? I mean, we don't have Bonnie Blue in town. You can't just go out and do that immediately.
Christ.
You know?
Wow.
I thought you'd like that one. But back to my point, though, man. Like, if you look at the receiver room, like, everyone talked about the whole entire offseason. Like, you have to improve on this in some way, shape, or form. People are hoping in the draft with Travis Hunter, and the best you can do, what we got for you is Deontay Johnson, and then Isaiah Bond falls into your lap a week before the season starts. Like man, I don't know. Like, you have to do something to address that room in the offseason.
Because it's Jerry Jeudy, and he led the league in drops last year, whatever. But you pay him this money, he had this big year. You're doing all the talk. It's one of the people you expect to be solid, and he comes out and he lets us down. It's flat out just let us down in that game. Cedric Tillman, he's had the ups and downs, but he had his bright spots last year, and he had bright spots yesterday. I thought he looked good until the drop at the end of the game, but those are costly mistakes that just cannot happen. And you say luck. They get in the interview, Jerry Jeudy said the ball bounced. When do you ever see two? You don't ever see two when you catch the ball. It's that simple. It's that simple.
All right, we got a ton to talk about, and we're going to get into it, but I got to tell you about something really good, guys, and that's our friends over at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford, Ohio is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state of Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. Don't let that short drive to Canfield prevent you from saving thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle. Over 500 vehicles in stock in the lot for you to go and peruse. Again, that short drive to Canfield, Ohio. Fairway Ford, the biggest Ford truck dealership in the state, the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and the friendliest people you'll ever meet. That's Fairway Ford. Scan the QR code or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. That's fairwayfordohio.com. Guys, it is just so frustrating to watch the Cleveland Browns lose games in ways that you didn't even know were possible. The fact you held Joe Burrow to 14 completions and you lose the game, I'm not sure that could ever happen again, to be honest with you. And it's the drops. That's the big elephant in the room besides the kicker. Because the kicker thing, well, let's call it for what it is, guys. I'm not surprised. How many times have we seen a kicker come put on a Cleveland Browns uniform and something along those lines happen? Jack, it's been since your guy on your chest right now, Phil Dawson, that you really felt confident about a kicker moving forward. We go in the AFC North. You see guys like Tyler Loop, who did miss a crucial PAT but had a couple long field goals to even get the Ravens to that point. And then Chris Boswell, absolute nails a 60-yarder to go ahead and win the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And kickers now are weapons, guys. We've seen Brandon Aubrey in Dallas lighten it up. Kaimi Fairbairn in Houston got me 14 points. Shout out him for fantasy. Kickers are a damn weapon now. Cam Little hitting to 70-yarders. I know it wasn't the NFL season, but if you have a kicker, boy, does that make all the difference. And we've seen it right here in Cleveland, unfortunately, on the opposite bad end.
You know what I just plain don't fucking get about the kicking situation with the Cleveland Browns is you take a guy like Matt Prater, who's been a consistent kicker in the NFL since the three of us were in probably diapers. You know, that guy's been around for a long ass time. He sits through all summer unsigned, walks into the Bills with 10 seconds left in the offseason and goes out and hits a big kick, right? Like how do you never, they never go out and get a him or a Greg Zuerlein. I feel like there's 50 kickers who have been in the NFL for 10 years who just sit unsigned all offseason. Then they go somewhere when a fuck up who's 24 years old misses a couple of kicks in the preseason. We never go out and get those guys. We have to go out and try we were Chase McLaughlin's first stop. We drafted Austin Seibert. We have to go out and try all this dumb shit. We can't just go get a proven kicker like anyone else in the NFL. I get that it's hard to kick with the fucking wind and shit on the water, but you have to think someone post Phil Dawson's able to do it.
Someone had it. I think it was Quincy Carrier on Twitter. He had a really good point, and it was you don't solve kicker through the draft because it's not the same position coming from college to the NFL. It's so many different things. He talked about it. He had a really good point about it. It was a video actually I saw, and it was a great point. But then the other thing is we know that some teams in the NFL have kicking coaches. We've came out in multiple times and said we don't. I don't know why, when there's only been one guy that really understands it, who talked about how he had a flag up in the stadium, how it was much different. Phil Dawson had this down to a science. Why he's not employed to just tell people what to do, to right. Say, look at this is what I did.
This is what I do.
Don't understand. Yes, this is what he does, brother. And then, yes, why don't we ever just get the vet? Because there's a I'm sure I'll go look.
Right? Like
Zerline, Prater.
Right, like, these guys
Tyler
have been in the
Bass,
NFL for
everybody.
15
Fat Randy
fucking
doing
years.
these
Like,
days.
there's
Fat
a-
Randy could probably still kick.
Fat Randy's not missing that fucking
Go
kick.
get the
I'll tell you.
fucking kids from
Fat
College
Randy-
Game Day
Fat
with Pat
Randy
McAfee.
might-
What are they, 2 for
Fat
2?
Randy might have like pulled an ACL on a 45-yard field goal attempt in a couple of weeks, but he wasn't fucking missing a kick. I'll tell you that
And
for
it's
free.
fine. I'm not going to get mad at him for this one because this kid was a Lou Groza Award winner. They hopped on the trend to get him the kicker from the USFL because that's what the Cowboys did with Brandon Aubrey. You get the guy. He won
I have
the
a point about him too that'll piss me off even
he
more.
won
Funny.
the
Let me get to it.
competition. He did what he was supposed to do in preseason. We all were like, yeah, you should cut
He just
Hopkins
Szmyt down
'cause
his
he's been
leg.
bad. But he missed, and now you should lose your job. That is what it is. We should go get
There's
somebody
no
new
debate
next
about
week.
that. Some people
You
are
should-
dying on the hill
It
of
should be
that.
that simple, and we should keep cutting until we get a guy that
Yeah.
can make the easy ones because it was 40-yarders.
Yeah.
If he misses a bomb at the end of the game and it's a little windy and it hooks right at the end, okay, heartbreaker. But you get another shot next
You
week.
know who had a great
what
night
other
last night, Ryan?
Yeah.
Dustin Hopkins sat with his fully guaranteed money and a
He
bottle
might
of
be
champagne.
Yeah. And people
Look at these fucking idiots.
What other job do you go in the first 2 weeks? And I know correlating, but in terms of an NFL schedule, what? One game is every, let's say, like in terms of a year week schedule, one every month.
That's a good month of your work
Yeah.
schedule, probably. Maybe a little
Guess
less.
what? If you go and you look like that your first month of the job, I'm not sure you're gonna last. They're like, I don't know what your contract's looking like, but you're not in good faith,
And
and
that-
that's the
and
life of a
here-
kicker.
here's my thing,
You
and
weren't
again,
you
I don't
weren't
know-
you weren't like assigned with guaranteed money. You weren't a draft pick. You have no laurels to rest on that you're loyal to this guy. Like that's your one job. You don't get hit all day, bruised up in an NFL game. Your game is to go out there and hit kicks. And we're not asking you to go out there and be Brandon Aubrey and hit 60-yarders. You're missing a chip shot 35 and a PAT in the biggest moments. Guess what? You're probably just not built for the moment.
I don't know dick about kicking. I'm not going to pretend and sit here like I do, or that I could tell Andre Szmyt how those kicks should have gone in. But I did get the
Through the
chance to listen.
uprights.
Yeah, through the uprights would be a good starter. But I had the chance to listen to his post game presser, and the way he talked about how the first kick, he's like, "Oh, I rushed my process, and then I just pushed it to the right." They asked him about the second kick, he's like, "Well, I rushed my process and I pushed it to the right." Why didn't you just fucking wait the second time? If you knew you rushed it the first time, why aren't you just like, "Hey, take a fucking second. You got 40 seconds. Hey, you know what? If you fucking need more time, push him back 5 yards. Give him more time to mentally process it."
I'm not even gonna call him out because I don't know. But if I miss a layup and I say, I shot it too high, you can bet your ass I'm not gonna shoot it too high the second time.
Also the
So
fucking
it's
losers.
like-
There were losers on Twitter, Ryan, who were like, "Well, if Joe Flacco didn't take the sack and go 6 yards back, then that would have been a much easier kick." You're in the fucking NFL and it's under 50 yards in 2025. It should be free money.
And that's
all
funny.
the kickers
And that's
make the 40-yarders.
And that's funny that somebody said it as a point because I remember that exact play when Joe Flacco took that sack. I loved the decision because one, you can't
'Cause
throw it
Joe
out of bounds.
Flacco
It would have
usually
been
is gonna throw that
intentional.
fucker
It would
30
have been
yards downfield
intentional. It
to
would have been
safety.
intentional
Yeah.
grounding. Two, you throw the ball, try to force it in a window. That's stupid because then he throws a pick, and we're talking about
If I'm not
Flacco can't be the
mistaken,
quarterback of the future.
sack
He
put
made
it
the
in
right
middle of the
decision.
field, too.
Yes.
I think it lined it
This
up.
isn't you're in fringe field goal range. No, you're in field goal range with an NFL kicker who is employed and expected to make that kick. That's a dumb point. Joe Flacco made the right decision, I thought.
I won't even get into this, but like I'm sure if we go to last year, 40-yarders are like a 98% clip.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something in the NFL.
In the NFL,
Like,
they're
they're
good, yeah.
layups, bro, and you should lose your job. For that,
There
bro.
is
It
like
what it
I
is.
don't know the human or the physical evolution of it, and I know we're getting way too off topic now, but like I wonder how long it is till like 60-yard field goals are just like guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like the way guys are
We're
getting up to
kind of
70 and
there,
shit.
but,
Like
that point.
we just don't have those.
how
guys.
far do you
Y'all seen
think?
Happy Gilmore too, right? It's like when they insert the like.
Yeah, they're gonna start
Legatron?
twisting.
The
They're
Legatron,
gonna start, like,
yeah.
twisting a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna have robot kick. Brandon Aubrey's pretty much already a robot.
That's the one more point before we go to a break here, Ryan. As a Notre Dame football fan, Brandon Aubrey sat on campus for 4 years while you had no fucking kicker, played on the soccer team, then just goes to the NFL. Thanks a lot.
And is the best kicker in the entire
Yep.
NFL, by the way. All right, let's take a break. When we get back, we talked about the Browns. Honestly, I feel like as much as we can after a loss like that. Try to pull out the positives as we
grieve.
could. Let's take a break. When we get back, we'll go around the rest of the NFL, some great games, talk about that Sunday night football matchup between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. That was incredible. We'll do that when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network presented by FanDuel. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack O'Rourke. He's Rob Watson. Before we dive back into the NFL, I got to tell you about our friends over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just two flavors, classic light lager, as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, none of that IPA taste, guys. It's just beer the way you want it to taste, and that's beer-flavored beer. Scan the QR code now or go to their website to visit drinkgaragebeer.com to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. One more time, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, guys, we're talking about the NFL. Week 1 was in the books. A pretty damn good week 1. We'll start here. We didn't get an opportunity to talk about Chiefs and Chargers because that was Friday night in Brazil, but Chargers get the win 27-21. Thank you. I had Chargers plus 2.5, I believe it was. Dang. Justin Herbert, king of the day, 25 for 34, 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, just 1 touchdown, 24 completed passes. Story of the day, game kicked off was Travis Kelce absolutely obliterating
Yeah, that killed my parlay.
Why is Xavier Worthy? Yes, absolutely just trucked him. I thought his shoulder fell out of his body, and then the sideline goes to the locker room. He's out for the rest of the game. I haven't seen an update, but I imagine he's going to miss some time. That looked like it hurt a 240-pound, whatever Travis Kelce is, dude. I mean, he gave him the business.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is not going directly into the game itself, but I think this has been the first offseason in a while where people have really not looked at the Chiefs as the favorites in that AFC West, and I don't know, man. Coach Harbaugh.
We could build on that later when we talk about the Sunday night game, but I think this is a year where teams that haven't been able to get past the Chiefs aren't going to have to deal with it.
Oh, like the Browns.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to be the team that pulls something out of a hat at the end of the game in the AFC Championship to make it to the Super Bowl again this year. I think we're seeing the end of the run, and it's just is what it is. They got a little left. They'll get through, but I like the Chargers. If they win that second game, like that looked like a better team.
They
bro.
did.
Every time Harrison Butker misses a field goal, like there's like somewhere in the world a child gets fed.
What surprised me about the Chargers was, one, their offensive line held up pretty good
without
Rashawn Slater, and then 2, it was the passing game. Like that looked really good, and the strength to me was going to be the rushing game. Amari Hampton, it looked
Quentin
okay.
Johnson put glue on his gloves.
I was going to say everyone in Brazil
thinks Quentin Johnson is the best player in the NFL. Yeah,
it's like the memes of like damn, like people in other places must think the Bills are insane. 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s.
Yeah, it's like how it is right now, bro.
We move on. Arizona Cardinals took business expectedly
NFC West
of
division winners.
The New Orleans Saints. They win 20-13. Okay, game. Kyler played well. No turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr. got in the end zone. Zach Ertz continues to lead the team in targets. Spencer Rattler, okay. Didn't throw any touchdowns. No turnovers, I believe. At least no picks. Saints are just going to be hard-pressed to find offense.
I don't think I saw, because I did not sit down and watch that game, Oscar to Charlie, don't get me wrong. I don't think I saw one clip about the Saints offense on the internet. I couldn't, got nothing for them on what they did.
I just saw the swing pass where they also almost gave Chris Olave like his 18th concussion. Like, it's just
they got to be careful about that.
Awful offense,
he's
bro.
had a couple.
They just no blocking, but yeah, as expected. When we see Tyler suck, that'll be hilarious. We'll get memes from
I really do miss, now that he's retired, Derek Carr hospital balls are one of the most fun things to take place in the sport.
We move on, and this is by far the funniest game of week 1, and I was steadfast, and I've said this for months, that I thought the Dolphins were not going to make the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to be a good team.
Shout out.
Between I don't like their defense, that clearly showed up. The fact that I don't trust Mike McDaniel to lead a locker room, I truly don't. The fact that Tyreek Hill all the offseason drama, I expect he'll be a Chief by the end of the trade deadline.
Did you see how mad he was on the sideline?
He's just not, I don't think he doesn't communicate well. He's goofy. And I'm not in the locker room, and I don't know if this is just a vibe I get. Call me for what it is, but I don't like Mike McDaniel leading an NFL football team. Great coordinator,
not a leader of
but
men.
Some people aren't built for a head coach role.
Would be a great coordinator, position coach. My boy
next year's Lions offensive coordinator.
I would like to give Daniel Jones an award on the show for winning the Derek Carr Week 1 MVP award for shitty quarterback to go out and play awesome Week 1. So shout out to Daniel Jones for winning the Derek Carr award.
My boy's a Dolphins fan, so like after I left the Browns game, he's like he's talking to me as I'm leaving. I'm like, like I already walked out, and he's like, well, my Dolphins did their big one, and like I'm at the game, I don't get to see the red zone, and I'm like, yo, it was 33-8. What happened? And he's like, yeah, Tua pick fumble or whatever. And he's like, yeah, like all that. I'm like, yeah.
Tua backup.
Tua was, I think it's Zach Wilson. Tua was garbage. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson type throwing the ball right to the defender when he's right in front of your face, like that level bad.
Years to get healthy out there is what.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah,
like Mike McDaniel, excuse me.
Jover.
Mike McDaniel, I feel, is going to be fired after this year.
That's a bad.
That was my prediction. I thought
mean,
he was
you
going
can
to.
even. I look.
That's a
I
win
love
for
looking
us.
into.
That
yeah,
could
it
be
is.
a win.
Yeah.
I love looking into the way coaches
had it as a
speak.
win originally, yeah.
Just listening to Mike McDaniel's post-game presser too, like you could
just
tell he was
sounds
just a
like
dead
a-
man walking. Like he
puddle,
loves
bro.
to, because he still won't get away from the. I did everything I think I could, like the prep,
Mumbling
like
too, bro.
you
No,
really get like for Kevin, for all of his faults. I know some people hate Kevin in Cleveland. Kevin will always stand up for his players. I know he's not really like a player's coach, but he will always take the fault for his guys. He's done it with Deshaun Watson probably 10 million times more than he ever needed to. Mike McDaniel doesn't do shit like that. And if you're a guy who isn't necessarily a player's coach, you have to do that shit. Because if you're sending no positive messages and you're not backing your guys up and you're not winning football games, you're not going to be in the NFL very long.
Hey, Daniel Jones did what he needed to do, man.
Fuck
Two
yeah,
rushing
he did.
touchdowns on his own. I don't love that because I had a Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown bet, but it is what it is. I thought he looked good, and a lot of people thought, well, maybe the Colts aren't going to be that bad. I know a lot of people did, but Danny Dimes, I mean, we've seen him at times be very serviceable. And,
That also- that might
this
have been
is
the end of
probably
Anthony
maybe a
Richardson's
fluke
career.
because, again, I think the Dolphins are going to be a bad team this year. But a good start for them nonetheless. All right, Raiders, Patriots. Raiders do just enough with Geno Smith. Ashton Genty finds the end zone. Patriots,
Are we
a
doing
pretty
it?
bad day on offense for Drake May and company. Doing what?
Are we ready to call Ashton Genty a bust, or do we have to wait more than 1 week?
I mean, he found the end zone.
The running backs could start slow. Next
Okay,
thing you know,
okay.
we'll have back-to-back. Like
Just monitor though.
130
I'm just going to monitor that with you guys those next couple of
Boring
weeks.
ass game. Boring ass
The
game, by the
touches
way.
come. We'll see.
All right, let's move on to a great game was the Steelers-Jets. I watched all of that one. I had Steelers minus 2.5, and they ended up winning by 2. But Chris Boswell nails a 60-yard field goal. Jalen Ramsey knocks the ball out of Gary Wilson's hands to end the game on 4th down for the New York Jets. Justin Fields looked absolutely tremendous. I'm not kidding you. There were at times I saw shades of Lamar Jackson. He was comfortable in the pocket. He didn't rush, but when the pocket collapsed, he was skinny, got out on the edges, and made some good throws. And then the run play options between him, Breece Hall, and Braylon Allen, the naked bootleg to give them the lead was a great play call. Justin Fields didn't have a man within 20 yards of him. But the defense for the Jets didn't win the game. It's the big story is Aaron Rodgers. He played tremendous. Offensive line held up pretty well. There were a couple sacks, but Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball. They were doing good on play action. Who was it that got in the end zone first? Like Ben Skoranek.
Yeah, Ben Skoranek.
But then he found Jonnu Smith on
pass
John a
to
touch
Calvin
jet pass.
Austin.
Calvin Austin was tremendous.
Jalen Warren a couple
And
of weeks.
DK
DK
after the
Metcalf
catch
had a
was
drop,
good?
but he was pretty good. Steelers, it was a vice versa game. You expect the defense to be the strong suit. They weren't. The young, unexperienced offensive line held up, and Aaron Rodgers looked pretty damn good for touchdowns in his Steelers debut.
I think we'll see tonight, but after watching the Lions game and seeing how Aaron Glenn had the Jets moving this week, and depending on how Ben Johnson has the Bears moving tonight, we could really see that those coordinators might have been the ticket in Detroit, bro. Because I haven't seen Justin Fields play like that since Ohio State, and he looked good. And if he could keep that up, that talent, that's a top quarterback in the league if he could do that consistently.
Then you'd see all the. I don't want that team to work out just because all the Ohio State fans, like one day of the week to try and make everything about themselves isn't enough. Like they have to come out and go, oh, Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, just like my man.
They
Fuck
got,
you.
like,
And if
8
Joe Burrow threw
guys
for
on it.
500 yards, they would have claimed him too. By the way,
They would have claimed him, yeah.
Stay
And
on that side.
If they claim him ever again, just remember Carson Wentz, starting Super Bowl champion.
All right,
Same
we'll move
watch.
on. Giants, Commanders. We don't need to talk about this one much. Commanders, honestly,
Russ
a little
blows if we just talk
underwhelming
about
on
that.
offense, but their defense was tremendous. Russell Wilson
was
couldn't
Our
get anything
guy,
going.
we got to talk about that though,
Did you
dude.
see
Leak
him
United
lead?
might be in trouble.
Did you see Dayball? He left him hanging. He just walked
dude,
away.
he tried to
bro.
dab him up.
No, Malik Neighbors.
Dable, like it was. Have you seen that video? That
He
was.
was about to not go on the
No,
field.
so it surfaced on Twitter yesterday. The video of like Freddie Kitchens like lifting up Baker's chin and like Baker
Yeah.
getting pissed. One of those things where, like the coach is trying to like maybe like get a good
wasn't
word back with the
hearing it
player he
well.
just yelled at. He just straight up tries to dap up Malik Neighbors, and Malik Neighbors just looks at him like the not cool 6th grader at the dance who is trying to like be your friend in front of the girls.
This
You
is
know,
after
like
how-
you just looked away.
After they had
Looked him off.
a slight OBJ-ish, but not like crazy. But there's a back and forth. Like you see neighbors like yelling at him, like he's getting mad, he's frustrated.
He
So
will.
It's,
If Jackson Dart isn't good and
Yep.
he has to play with Russell Wilson, he might request.
Oh,
a
but yeah,
trade
well, I was
at
gonna
some
say
point.
we might get Jackson
We'll
more
get
than
Dart
sooner. He didn't
sooner.
commit. He didn't commit
Will
to
he go
Russell.
before
but
Jameis,
he
do you
talked
think?
good of him.
Yeah. We'll
He,
go-
he was
okay.
second on their depth
we'll
chart.
get Dart sooner.
Panthers, Jaguars. This one was boring as hell. It got delayed. Jaguars did enough. Panthers couldn't get anything on offense.
Skip.
Brian Thomas Jr. found the end zone.
Skip.
Travis Hunter played both sides. That was exciting. But other than that, I mean, Trevor Lawrence played okay.
Yo, wait, no. One thing. I drafted Brian Thomas in the 2nd round.
Yeah, me too. Fuck.
Trevor Lawrence, throw him the fucking
You
ball,
motherfucker.
bro. Like he was on a milk
Wide
carton,
open.
bro. And yeah, one of his awful throws that he throws like 4 feet over Travis Hunter's head. Brian Thomas Jr. wide open underneath. Great after the catch guy. Whatever. Trevor Lawrence, you're a bust.
I
Whatever.
think in
Enough.
I'm in 2
Shout out
fantasy
Cam
leagues.
Little though.
I'm in 2 fantasy leagues. I think my wide receivers scored a cumulative like 20 points this week across the 2 leagues. It was not good.
It was bad. It was bad.
2 wins.
I think QJ is wide receiver 1, or maybe Zay Flowers after last night.
I think it'd be Zay
QJ
Flowers.
might stay.
Keon Coleman's up
1
there as well.
if he keeps the Elmers on his gloves.
All right, Buccaneers Falcons. This was a good game. At
Great
the
game.
end, it
Great
was.
game.
Emeka finding the end zone twice. By the way, I had so much stock in Emeka for the fantasy season, so I'm happy to see that. Mike Evans, I believe it was 5 catches. Bijan Robinson started the game with that 50-yard screen pass to take it to the end zone. Falcons couldn't get much offense after that, but neither could the Buccaneers. But it came down to yes, Baker Mayfield leading that 2-minute drive was tremendous. He missed the PAT though. Chase McLaughlin did. Then Younghoe Koo. I had a feeling he was going to miss it, and I was glad he did because I had the Buccaneers winning that game for a couple bets. Younghoe Koo, I fear he might be washed. But a tremendous Baker Mayfield. I mentioned on the same day that we have this Andre Szmyt stuff. Chris Boswell knows a 60-yard field goal. Thankfully, the Ravens lost for us. But then we see Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, that's
drive.
just one of those like moments where, as a sports fan, you consider not watching football anymore. When you watch your team lose on a couple of kicks, then you watch your rival hit a 60-yard kick.
love rooting for Baker,
then you watch
man.
your ex go and throw the ball down the field and do all that shit. It reminded me a lot of. Do you guys remember Texans Bucks Week 1 2 years ago? It would have been when we played the Bengals and beat them. They had like a great went to overtime back and forth. It was CJ Stroud's coming out party. Like it reminded me a lot of that game in a way, but I don't know. I mean, he wasn't incredibly special, but Michael Penix is just really fun to watch. Like I love the inaccuracy and the running, moving the ball around. He had some cool sellies in the end zone. I'm a fan of him. So that was a fun game to watch, I thought.
Yep. All right, let's move on here. 49ers, Seahawks. This was a boring-ass game.
Skip.
49ers got the win with a touchdown at the end. George Kittle out with a hamstring injury. That's never good.
Washed. He threw it right at you at the end of the game. He got mossed by like the 3rd-string tight end.
Ricky Pearsall, as advertised, he was their leading receiver, I believe. Christian McCaffrey looked pretty healthy. That was good. He was potentially not going to play, but he ended up suiting up. Just a bad game all around, but 49ers squeaked out with a win. I don't really have any comments if you guys
You know, this isn't even Seahawks related, actually, but how about Geno Smith throwing for like 350 yards for the Raiders? That was fucking awesome.
He stays doing that, man. I'm telling you. Geno Smith underrated. All right, Titans-Broncos, another underwhelming game. I thought the Broncos were going to crush them. They did cover. They won by 8. Well, I think it moved to 8.5. It was originally 7.5. Bo Nix.
Are you a believer still? I was going to
good.
ask you about that.
That's
The thing is,
I mean, there's a capped ceiling, of course.
he looked bad.
I'm not totally worried, right? Like, but Sean Payton with some questionable decisions to go for it on that 1-4 down was strange. Cam Ward looked okay, pretty good.
If they weren't
I just
playing
fear
him,
that they don't
though.
have much on offense. Calvin Ridley with a massive drop that could have completely changed that
He
outcome.
took some bad sacks. The Broncos
And that's
very
what
well
rookie-
lose
that's
that
what
game
mobile rookie quarterbacks
if they
do.
were to play Cam Ward in 6-7 weeks. 6-7. He might not, he might not do that. He might, but rookie mistakes keeps them in. They squeak out of there with a win. But yeah, the Broncos, for being a dark horse Super Bowl contender from Ryan, gonna have to look a lot better than that going down the line.
Absolutely. Flip over Lions, Packers. Again, another one I thought was going to be better than it was. That was BTA. They win 27-13, and it didn't even really seem that close. We talked about this all offseason. Everybody has losing Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson is not a good sign. I feel like they were a huge part of that team, and clearly, like you said, we saw Aaron Glenn getting the offense moving, which was impressive for a defensive coordinator compared to what we saw with the Jets last season. Then Ben Johnson will get tonight at Monday Night Football, but I don't think there's any bones about it, is the fact that he really was a big part in the Lions' great offenses.
Parsons' back looked good too. Jerry, we're on you, bro.
Yeah, he
look
did.
that hurt, and he was definitely.
He was a game wrecker.
That just makes the team and the offense look good for the Packers. So if that's what it is, that's a contender, bro. It's simply that you got that guy that could wreck a game on defense. You got the receivers were doing. They made some plays. I mean, Dobbs and Reed making some solid catches. Jordan Love dicing it up. Josh Jacobs is going to be a bruiser in the backfield. They got the formula out there.
Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty childish, but I don't like the number switch out of Micah Parsons. That's just where my head is at on that one. The Lions side of the ball, though, like if you look at it, like, yeah, I mean, considering you lost both of your coordinators, you're playing a heated division rival on the road who just got one of the best players in the NFL. Like, yeah, odds are you're probably going to lose that one. So I'm curious to see how they bounce back the next couple of weeks, especially monitoring them playing the Browns Week 4.
Could be the regression year. Could be the year we see them decide maybe we need to move off Goff. Could be.
I'm a Jared Goff
I
guy.
think it would be Goff that goes, and then if Campbell gets a new quarterback and it's still bad, then Campbell might go.
Yeah.
I think that will be the order.
That's what I think. Mike, I saw a tweet somebody, so I don't remember who it was, but this wasn't my original thought. But Mike McDaniel next year being hired as the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. I can see that.
Oh, what if we fired Kevin after this year and we made Mike McDaniel the new head coach, and then we just stunk again?
I'm cool on that.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, we got to go through this quickly, but Rams Texans, another snoozer. Texans again, offensive line problems. Darrell Ogunbowale had the fumble that could have potentially continued to lead the drive for the Texans to win that game. Texans do cover, I think it was 5.5, but Matt Stafford did just enough. Rams defense legit. All right, and then we talk about this one, the big one, Monday Night Football. We can spend a minute on this one because this was a fantastic game.
Crazy game.
I went to bed at the end of the third quarter.
Oh.
Woke up, and I don't know how the hell they won the game. I watched the replays. First of all, a little bit of luck, but with a comeback like that, there's usually a little bit of luck involved. The tip pass, which went right in Keon Coleman's hand. Derrick Henry, who, oh my goodness,
He's like that.
future Hall of Famer, of course, no doubt. But I mean, we're getting to the point where the longevity of Derrick Henry to continue to do what he does is unbelievable.
That was one of his high school stat lines, too.
This isn't just him toting the rock with a low average. No, this is him. He looks prime. He looks like he's a prime running back still.
Faster,
he does.
He hits the hole in that stride is insane.
He's unbelievable, man. Lamar Jackson, unbelievable. Continues to be unbelievable.
Hey, Hopkins still got
Josh
it too.
Allen, I was a little bit worried after the first couple series, but he turned it on, obviously, in the third and fourth quarters, making the plays he needs to with his arm and his leg.
He
finds the end zone
Moore,
twice.
looking like Elijah Moore.
Just something with the Ravens guys, it seems at the end of every game, every close big game, they find a way to turn the ball over or make a mistake, and the Bills capitalize on it and they get the win, which could be huge. We could be looking at this game as the decider between the number 1 seed and the AFC.
It's the script, bro. As soon as you miss an extra point, it's just the momentum shift on like the top of the thing they used to have on Madden. It just switches this way, and the stadium pulse starts going, and stuff just starts going wrong. So
I don't know. I mean, you guys know I'm a pretty big Bills fan because a bunch of my friends are from Buffalo. It just seems like every single time they need the play in the regular season, like they have like infinite luck in terms of winning the big games in the regular season. Like look at Josh's record against Mahomes in the regular season. Like they always win the big one in the regular season in the primetime games. They just never get it done in the playoffs, man. I'm just worried that we're gonna do this whole thing again where he comes out MVP season, we win 14 games, and then
this year. That's my bold
that's
prediction.
true. I don't know. I hope, man, but I mean they looked awesome. James Cook, it was a little bit suspect to him at times, but that was my only note on the
He
Bills.
was still cooking though.
He got better as it went on.
That's what happened.
Let's take a break. When we get back, we're going to wrap up the big factor and give our Monday Night Football, our first time doing this. I'm excited. FanDuel parlay of the day, and we'll comment a little bit on Bryce Underwood's performance versus the Oklahoma Boomers.
9 completions. 9.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, and Rob Watson. Going to dive into our Monday night, our first edition Monday Night Football parlay, courtesy of FanDuel. Before we do that, I got to tell you guys a little bit about FanDuel. FanDuel's getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here, guys. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/BigPlay to download the FanDuel app today and get started. 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jack, let's say we get some money here. Our first big play, big factor of 2025, Monday night edition FanDuel parlay.
Right, let's do it, baby. We're coming in plus 533 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app for today's same game Monday Night Football parlay. We're starting off, coming off one of his best seasons in the NFL, Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown scorer. Following that up as well with Ryan going with that under 46.5 for this one, alternate total point spread. And then our guy, Rob Watson, the parlay demon, Jay Jettas, 5 receptions, the all total. Once again, Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown, under 46.5 in the game. We got Caleb going up against J.J. McCarthy in his first career start. Justin Jefferson, 5 receptions. Folks, you can't beat it. Plus 533 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. I like that alternate under. Unders have been cashing a lot in the NFL. I feel like a lot of people expect Ben Johnson to come out here before we see fireworks. But again, I think the Vikings defense is legit. Brian Flores, of course. We'll see if they start slow. J.J. McCarthy, I like the under. I love the Aaron Jones touchdown as well. And then you had Justin Jefferson 5 receptions.
Just like the touches.
That's easy money. Lastly, before we wrap up here on the Big Factor, guys, college football week 2, not nearly as exciting as college football week 1. Not even close. One ranked game. We had Michigan visiting Oklahoma. Oklahoma takes care of the Wolverines 24-13. John Mateer, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Bryce Underwood, just 9 for 24, no touchdowns for the kid.
I found our quarterback. I set my eyes
Bryce
on one guy
Mateer?
every year.
Is it John Mateer?
It's John Mateer. Last year was Shedeur Sanders. It was after the Hail Mary game. I decided he was our next quarterback. I'm telling everyone right now, John Mateer will be a Cleveland Brown. That arm sleeve is fucking awesome. Love the long hair. The kid just got the look. He's a QB. Bryce Underwood, though, man, not even his fault. I'm gonna come out and say I'm not one of those Michigan homers on the internet, but yeah, I know he completed 9 passes, but his receivers just weren't fucking getting open all day long.
Michigan just called another screen pass.
They tried.
Called another one.
Yeah, they
just
tried,
called another
They
one.
stole Notre Dame's playbook and they ran
one.
screens.
Another one.
Over and over. Another one. Yeah,
Another
every
one.
single play. Mateer overthrew that interception early on, but he recovered. I mean, just like his legs are awesome. Everything you thought Cade Klubnik was going to be is what John Mateer actually is in real life. So yeah, that's my Cleveland Browns
sexy
quarterback.
legs.
Oh, he's got sexy legs. The best.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for us.
Hold on.
Wait, Rob, that's
Guys,
right.
yes. Before we get out of here,
USF?
the Browns are
TJ
gonna
Legwood?
they always find a way to make another loss. They'll always snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat. Well, the other way around, defeat from the jaws of victory. But make sure you guys tune in tonight. Big Play Cleveland show at 9 p.m. We got Nick Badone and Chris McNeil. They're gonna be talking more about the game, more Browns coverage for you guys. You could watch it on X, YouTube, or anytime in the Big Play app. So make sure you guys check them out tonight.
Yes, that goes live at 9 p.m. on social tonight.
Billy
As
Napier
Rob
has
said, you
been
can find
fired.
it on demand in the app whenever you want it. All right, guys, appreciate everybody tuning into the Big Factor and the Big Play Sports Network. Shout out FanDuel, shout out Fairway Ford, shout out Garage Beer, shout out our Cleveland Browns. I know it's tough, but they played well enough to get the win, and there were a lot of positives to pull out. I feel a lot better. We had a nice therapy session. Hopefully you guys feel a little bit better as we wake up. More hours removed from that very sad loss. But we'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it. Same people, plus Nick Padone. Same time. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.